going to ask you to stand behind the blue line.
Sir, if you'd raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Come around. Okay.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. In a nice loud voice, could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name?
Good morning. My name is Detective Brian Verney, Verney.
And sir, where do you work?
I work for the Salisbury Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer in Salisbury, sir?
In Salisbury, I've been a police officer since 2016.
Were you a police officer elsewhere before that?
Yes, I was a police officer in North Reading for 3 years before that.
Okay. And sir, what is your current assignment?
Currently, I'm assigned to our Criminal Investigations Division as a detective
How long have you been a detective with the CID, sir?
since February 2021.
Okay. And as a detective in Salisbury, sir, what are your primary duties and responsibilities?
Well, I'm our only detective, so any case that needs additional follow-up or any cases that are of more of a serious nature that require more investigation gets assigned to me.
Okay. And I know there's not a number of homicides in Salisbury, but when those happen, do you take the lead on those, or do you assist somebody else in the lead on homicides that occur in Salisbury?
So we always respond initially, but we include the state police.
Okay. And the state police, once they get involved, would take over the lead in the investigation. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, sir, I want to take you back to November 12th of 2022. Were you working on that day?
Yes, I was.
All right. And at some point, sir, did you get some information that family members of an individual named Leroy Fowler had contacted the police department?
Yes.
Okay. Had you been aware that there had been a 911 call and a police and ambulance response to Mr. Fowler's home on November 11th, 2022, when you first spoke to the family on the 12th?
I had read it in our police log in the morning.
So aware of it, but not involved?
Correct.
All right. After speaking to the family members, what did you do on the 12th, sir?
I contacted the state. Actually, at first I contacted my lieutenant and filled him in on the what was told to me, and then he contacted the state police.
Okay. And did some state troopers come up to the Salisbury PD to Salisbury to meet with you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And where was the first? Was that at the time then Trooper Williams, now Sergeant Williams?
Yes.
Okay. There was a second trooper who was also around, a Trooper Lannon. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, did you and Trooper Williams go someplace when Trooper Williams came up to Salisbury and made contact with you on the 12th?
Yes.
All right. Where'd you go?
We went to 108 Central Ave.
Okay. Had you been to 108 Central Ave, or at least the area, in connection with your duties previous to this day?
In that area, yes.
Okay. Did you know either Leroy Fowler or Judy Church at that point in time?
There had been some past involvement.
Well, you personally? Did you
Personally,
know
no.
No. Okay. So you and Trooper Williams went over to 108 Central Ave and go in a cruiser. Is that fair?
We drove in my unmarked car, yes.
Okay. And you're generally a plainclothes officer. Is that fair?
Generally, but on this day, I was assigned to patrol to cover the road from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So you were wearing your uniform on that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in Salisbury, do police uniforms for patrol officers include body cams?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And were you wearing your body cam on that day?
Yes, I was.
Now, about what time was it that you and Trooper Williams went to 108 Central?
I believe it was a little after 3 o'clock.
Okay. And what did you do when you went there?
We knocked on the door,
you
tried
get
to
it?
contact somebody who lived there.
All right. Did you get an answer?
No.
Okay. Did you decide to wait around for a few minutes, just, I don't know, talking or see what sort of happened?
Yes.
Okay. So where were you and Trooper Williams after you knocked on the door and didn't get an answer?
We were on the sidewalk in front of the house.
Okay. After a few minutes, did something happen?
Yes.
What was that?
Judy showed up.
Okay. And how did she arrive?
She drove there in her car.
Okay. So when she got out of her car, did you realize who she was? Did you recognize her, sort of, or did she introduce herself?
Yeah, Trooper Williams went over and spoke with her.
Okay. And did you and Trooper Williams have a conversation with Miss Church out in the driveway sidewalk area?
Yes, we did.
When you first contacted Miss Church, so you walk up to her? Is that fair to say? And how close were you when you were talking to her?
Within a few feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did she appear to be under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Did she have any difficulty did she appear to have any difficulty to understand what you were saying to her?
No.
Did you have any difficulty understanding her responses to your questions or Trooper Williams' questions?
No.
Now, at this point, you only had your brief phone conversations with some of Mr. Fowler, Leroy Fowler's family. Was it just one family member that you had spoken to at that point in time?
Yes.
Okay. Had you spoken to anyone else about Mr. Fowler and his condition at that point in time?
So we had spoken with a doctor at Mount Auburn Hospital.
Okay. And did you know that there was a concern at that point in time regarding antifreeze or ethylene glycol present in Mr. Fowler's blood? Did you tell Ms. Church that you were going to use your body cam to record the conversation that you had with her?
Yes, I did.
And in connection, in preparation for today and your testimony, you and I had placed on a thumb drive the body cam footage of that interview. Is that fair? Okay. Your Honor, offer this as the next exhibit.
No objection, Judge.
It may come in.
You know what? I'm gonna put it on I'm gonna put it on one of these, and we'll tag it. What number is this? Okay.
Exhibit 13, thank you.
13, so marked. You're welcome.
Judge, with the court's permission, we're going to start the video.
You may.
My son. Hi. Hi, babe. Here, hon. Would you may my son come out with me?
Would prefer us to talk to you.
Okay. All right. I don't know, state police, Salisbury police. This is getting better and better.
So, just so you know, we have body cams. I don't know if you
Body
know that.
cam, yeah.
So just, it's on, it's recording.
Oh, yeah.
Is this comfortable for you to talk about it? Okay. I'll let you go. Just because Leroy's in critical condition, we want to just follow up and just kind of find out what happened.
I'm just going to stop it there for 1 sec. Just to have the individual that was just speaking, that is you, correct?
The voice you're hearing is me, yes.
Okay. Then the individual wearing the white shirt and the tie on the left side is Trooper Williams,
That's correct.
and then Miss Church on the right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The state police is here.
Yeah, so I'm assigned to the Essex County District Attorney's Office. So in this case, we investigate all deaths. There has obviously not been a death. But Salisbury is preemptively reaching out to us because I know he's your boyfriend, correct?
Yes.
So he's in critical condition. Like, kind of give you an idea of what my job is. Like today I was in Lynn. There was a man that overdosed and died in Lynn. So we go, look, that's what we do. We had spoken to the doctor. We know that your boyfriend is in critical condition. There's a possibility. Just he's not in good condition. You were at the hospital today. So we're trying to just get ahead of everything and just get all our ducks in a row. So I just kind of want to know. I have to just go through a walkthrough of what happened yesterday. I heard that he had seizures. Is that accurate?
He couldn't walk.
Couldn't walk. So could you just, because I believe it was 8:30 in the morning it came in the calls.
I think around 8 o'clock.
Could you just walk me through like how he was the night before and then the morning and then what led to 911? Because obviously I wasn't here yesterday, so I just kind of need to know what happened and then.
That's my dog.
I just kind of need to know what happened and then that's pretty much it.
So around 9 o'clock, we were watching TV in the bedroom. That's our bedroom. We were on the back. And I put on like a Christmas, the Hallmark Christmas. Thanksgiving. And he went out in the back room, which he does often, was on his phone. And I checked on him every once in a while. We had done a lot of work that day. We were trying to get back to Florida. Are you telling me he's dying?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. But I'm saying.
We're trying to figure out how did he get there?
Because when you said that,
were the drugs involved?
Like the doctor just said, he's in critical condition, right? So obviously that's just something where when we hear critical as state police, unfortunately, just.
I heard last night they were going to do dialysis.
Yes. Yep, they're going to do that. Yes.
No, they are going to do that because all his numbers were coming down.
So that's why we just, in these situations, the police departments reach out to us. We come out, and obviously, I've had plenty of times. Like just last week, I was at a shooting in Lawrence. The guy gets shot.
I don't care about anybody else. All right.
I'm just saying we preemptively will do things, and then people. It doesn't result in death, though. Like this, unfortunately, this is just my line of work, and it's very uncomfortable. I understand that. So by no means am I trying to add stress to you. It's just with the district attorney's office, it's just what has to be done for these type of incidents.
Just from our perspective, it's a lot easier to kind of figure out what's going on rather than a week or two from now.
Yes.
Coming back and trying to say, you remember what happened last night a lot better today than you would a month from now. So we just try to. It's just part of what we do.
I have a tremendous amount of empathy for what you're going through. I'm not trying to add stress to you.
She just rolled over to the hospital and they said that she couldn't visit, so just.
He wasn't taking visitors and that I wasn't the proxy. I know every medical issue.
Well, see, that's an important reason why we want to talk to you. That's exactly the reason we're here.
Yeah,
so you probably know more about him than anybody else.
Yes.
So anyways, he goes out in the back room and he watches his true crime stories and I'm watching my Hallmark and every once in a while I hear him get a soda and he pokes his head in and or I get up or the dog's out anyway, so it was a few times that we had kind of talked and everything seemed fine. He was doing what he does out in the back room.
When you say back room,
it's
up here?
At the stairway.
Okay, that's like his hangout.
Yeah.
So like he was like coherent, performing, like nothing that was out of it.
Right, and talking and having a conversation. And around 4, because I looked at, we were expecting a friend of his to pick up metal that we had put in Saab's driveway, and they around 4. I looked at the clock; it was like 4:20, And I knew his friend wasn't coming till 11 in the afternoon.
And who was his friend?
Jenny.
Jenny. Okay, so he was just coming to like hang out or.
No, he picked up the metal.
Oh, the guy picked up the metal coming out
Yeah,
of 11. Okay,
he
got
wasn't
it.
coming till 11 next day.
Yeah.
And that's what he told me, and that was at 4 something in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So from 9 to 4.
Yeah. He's in the back room.
Right, but so at 4 a.m. he told you someone's coming at 11.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm
And
sorry.
I asked him, I said, is that Kenny out there? And it's not his truck, and, I don't know, who that is, but they're taking all the metal.
Yep.
And he went, oh, okay, and, yeah. Around 6:30, he comes into the bedroom. He falls asleep out in the back room, and then comes in. We had some relations between the two of us, I'm not going to say it on camera.
Yeah.
And everything was fine.
No, it's
But
about
he-
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, but he told me, he says, I fell like 3 times. I can't walk. And he says, and he had to go to the bathroom. And I said, let me help you. Well, he was legless.
And was that also around 6 a.m.?
No, it's now 7.
Now 7. I don't know.
7.
You like this. All right.
And anyways, I was trying to get him back into the bed. He did. He got back into the bed. He's like really bad. And he's it's not, he didn't hurt me or anything, but he's combative. He had something in his head and he had to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let me help you. Boom, he falls, our bed's like this high off the ground. Boom, fell right out, took all the covers with him. I get up, and I'm hoping he's just going to stay down for the count. I put a pillow under his head, I put a blanket over him. Nope, he's going to stay down.
Is he like altered mental state probably at this time? He's not acting like himself?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
no.
Talking.
So when you say like combative, then it's almost like
He
didn't know what was going on. Yeah, disoriented. Okay,
yeah.
all right. So
Yeah,
okay, got it.
and wouldn't just do, as I asked. And
Yes,
every
okay.
time I got him close to even getting a hand up on the bed,
Yeah.
he'd turn. And,
Yeah.
and it would be like, oh, here we go. And so he bounced around the room, and I was like, do I need to call the ambulance? And that was maybe 7:30. I don't remember the time frame.
Yep.
But I tried to get him to say my name, talk to me. Can you hear what I'm saying? And he really had no words, but he did say call the ambulance.
Yeah, he didn't feel. Yeah. And then were you the one that called?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the son, right?
Yeah.
Son. So, but just you live upstairs. There's nobody else that lives upstairs on the second
Leroy
floor.
and I.
Just you two live upstairs on the second floor. Okay. So then you called the ambulance. I'm assuming they came, right? And then they took him. And then when he woke up from 4 a.m. to then, I don't know anything about him. Does he abuse alcohol? Does he use
Nope.
narcotics?
Nope.
Does he, I guess, any like unhealthy activities? To be vague, like he doesn't drink, he doesn't use drugs.
I have known him to do some recreational drugs.
Okay, and that's what type?
Part of what we're trying to figure out.
Perks,
Yeah, figure out kind of what happened.
coke.
Okay. Did he do cocaine
Nothing.
or Percocet that morning?
I have no idea.
Okay, because when he was up at 4, but then you were kind of up around 4, but you didn't see him, at least to your knowledge. You didn't see him do cocaine or take Percocets.
No.
And when he, I'm assuming when he would take cocaine, he would snort it, but is that accurate? The cocaine?
I guess so.
Okay, and then have you ever seen him take Percocets? Does he snort them? Does he ingest them orally?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. And then
I don't know how he,
how he ingests.
I guess you take a pill and you snort cocaine.
Okay. Did he eat breakfast? Did he drink anything? He didn't have any alcohol?
it was too early. I mean,
Too early.
he was
Okay.
out of it.
Okay, so he didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything?
No,
Okay.
he really didn't.
Okay, because I heard that you thought he might have ingested something. So that's
I
what I'm-
was, because this guy had seen this before.
Yeah.
Like right when COVID had happened, it was like 48 hours of hell for me.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, like I said, he was out, and he had left before, and then came back, you know, and he's got his, you know, little secrets, and
And what do you mean by secrets?
We're not here to
Yeah,
make any
no.
judgments.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
I know,
I'm not
but-
trying to interject. It's just part of
We
my
need-
job.
we need to
I'm
know
probably joking
everything.
about it. I'm not trying to interject into like your personal life.
um,
And I know your son's here.
you know, you can buy anything on the street, anything. People
Yeah.
sell it all, and he knows them. So
Got it.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I know what you
about
mean.
that.
Okay.
So he left, you know, and then came back, and then.
Out of it?
That morning?
No,
Oh,
back
this
in
is
the other time, the first time?
2019.
Because when you've seen him, I'm assuming you've seen him after he's either taken Percocet or cocaine in the past. Have you seen him like high on those before?
I wouldn't know what to look for.
Like, would I guess because what I'm
Percocet.
would what he was displaying the other day, like his physical, what he was
Was
displaying. Have you seen that? In the
similar
past?
to, like I said, you know, those hours, days actually. But he had more words, you know, but a lot of gibberish.
A lot
Back in
of gibberish.
2019.
He'll run off and do the stuff. There's nothing that goes on in a second.
He does,
He'll
you know, he leaves for days.
yeah, he'll leave for days.
You know,
and
he's not
Kinda
always
like, would
here.
you say,
Let's put
like-
it that way.
he
He's
likes
not
to-
always here.
He likes to party.
Like going on like a bender type situation. or-
Yeah,
You know,
he's
where
got
did he go?
he's got another, you know. He loves me.
I have people in my life like that. I know what you mean with people that you care about who go off on benders, and it's almost like two different personalities. It depends. You don't know who you're going to get some days. That's at least my personal experience with people I know and care about. It happens a lot more than you think.
Yep. So, you know, he works hard, plays hard.
Yeah. Speaking of, what does he do for work?
Although he's disabled, you know.
Oh,
but
just-
he
okay.
does, you know, he'll do his thing, you know.
He's like Andy.
Yeah.
Just an animal.
Okay. All right. So then, basically, just make sure I have it right. He was good the night before. Woke up at 4. His friend.
And I had a conversation. We had a conversation at 4:30.
I can attest to that too because I spoke to him when I get home like 7ish
Yeah.
from work,
Yeah.
that night.
and
Okay.
he was telling me, "Hey, you know, I just banged around a bunch of stuff in the back, and you know, I cleaned up the back room. You can go check it out. Put everything to the side, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool, yeah." He's like, "This weekend, you know, I'll help you put new fenders on your truck and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool, I'm down." But yeah, after that, I mean,
Then you didn't see him until after he went to bed.
no,
The next day.
After that, no.
Okay, and then he woke up, didn't eat breakfast or have
Too early.
coffee or whatever,
Too
anything
early.
like that. Too early, and then
Heard him, we heard banging around
He doesn't drink
upstairs.
coffee.
it sounds like there was a period of how long was that period where he started displaying the symptoms, and then he was like, call the ambulance. Like, was that like an hour? Was that like 2 hours?
Like an hour.
Like an hour. So it was about an hour of like trying to.
Yeah.
You don't feel good. You're trying to work
Right.
through it, and then
because
eventually.
we, you know, because I had
Okay.
seen all of this before.
Yeah.
You know, I could get him to calm, you know, down, and I was hoping for that. And,
Yeah.
you know, he was just clutching at everything in the bedroom. You know, tore down the the curtains, and you know, and I kept telling him that rocking chair's not going to help you get up. You know, let me help you, and just make sure he wasn't hurting himself.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, like, has he ever in the past had any suicidal tendencies or ideations or suicidal attempts?
No.
No. So he's not. So you don't like. It
I
couldn't have been
don't-
like he.
No,
woke up
I
and-
don't think so. He's very, you know, he's very in his mind a lot. You know,
Okay.
he's a thinker, and he gets, you know.
So he's enjoying life. He's not.
No sort of like depression or anything.
Nothing like that.
No, it's not depression. It's more of a, you know, he hates the things he does to me, and you know, it makes him sad, and you know, when he just reverts into his head, and I don't call that depression. I call that reflection, really.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
But he's his own man. Really.
No, but never has said something like, "You'll be better off without me," or
Nothing like that.
no sort of like.
No, he's really kind of fond of himself.
Okay.
Okay, and I had one other question.
So after, so when he originally went over to the hospital,
What's that?
when he originally went over to the hospital at Anna Jake's,
Yeah.
Was he still kind of like in and out? What was he
So
like?
you saw him when they took him out in the chair. I
Yeah,
was
he
going to
was
take
thrown
care
in
of the
and-
dog so I could my dress myself.
He
Yeah.
was definitely out of it.
You mean taking him out of the house? Or?
In a stair chair, yeah.
Did you go to the hospital to Anna
Oh
Jake's?
God, I was there all day.
So, what was he like there? That's what I'm asking. Was he
I-
still just couldn't talk to him? Nothing.
They had to when I got there. He was combative still, not.
Okay.
Or what's the word?
Yeah, we see that all the
Just
time.
struggling to get out of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
this,
no, that's common.
when his feet were sliding between the poles, and I was going to break his leg. And I said, "Have you given something for this?" And finally, it was a short time later, they sedated him, so
Okay.
he calmed, and that was the last. He really had no worry. Where's my dog?
That's what he was
So,
concerned about.
He's not with me or anybody. It's my dog.
And you've never seen him like how you saw him yesterday, without the use of like narcotics or drugs. He's never had like a medical episode like this.
No.
You
No.
mentioned during COVID 2 years ago.
Right,
He was similar to
Right.
this.
Right.
So and that was with narcotics. There's never been a time where this has happened.
Yeah.
So what do you think probably happened then? If or do you not have any idea?
I was assuming, since it was like, very similar, that in 2019 when he left for a little while,
Yeah.
I'll be right back to.
Does he store any narcotics in the house? Like if he takes Percocet or like cocaine, does he have any of that in the house? Like where could he have gotten it? Because I'm just thinking if he woke up at 4
Yeah.
and then fire and EMS are here like 8:30ish, and he never left the house, so he must have had it. If that's what it is, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball,
Right.
but based on everything you're saying, am I correct in interpreting probably where it's going? That's how at least I'm interpreting what you're saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So there probably there had to have been some place in the house that he must have stored it, but you just don't know where that was. It would have been a private place. How long has he lived here with you? Because I was under the impression he didn't live here.
10 years.
So he's lived here for 10 years with you. So he doesn't just come over and visit.
No,
Oh,
this is his home.
I must have misheard. I thought that, but you're his girlfriend, right?
Who
not his
did you
wife?
hear from?
When I was talking to my lieutenant who called before I came up, so it's kind of like a third party thing. They were like dispatching me.
Right.
They were like, "Yeah, I guess he was visiting his girlfriend." So I thought he was visiting you, so he didn't live here.
Yeah, I'm not the visitor girlfriend.
No, he was visiting you because I know this is your house, right? But it's both of your house. Okay. And he's been here for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of the telephone game when Salisbury calls our duty office.
Oh, you should have heard the telephone game I heard this morning.
Yeah, that's why I like to come to the stores and ask because.
Stupid telephone.
No, and I have a tremendous amount of empathy for everything that's going on with you guys right now, and I know it's uncomfortable. It's just I'm the guy on call today, so I get the phone call. Hey, this is what's going on. Go up there, talk to them, because the example I just gave you. I take what someone tells me. I write my report. I would have been. He doesn't live here. He visits from time to time to see his girlfriends. That's what I thought. But now, I didn't know about the Percocets, things like that. So that's why I just come, talk, and then leave. But I don't want to cause any more stress on you at all. Obviously, we're going to keep monitoring him and his status in the hospital. I mean, they have great doctors in Boston. So
Today they said
You're
I
honestly
wasn't his proxy. I know everything about that man's. I got it all. I got the stack of it.
Is there anything in there that you think would be helpful for us or the doctor? Or
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, you are?
I am. But they said at the hospital today, well, how is he doing? Is he awake? Is he this? And she said he's okay. They think that his sister is a proxy. And I said, no, she's just the next of kin. She's not.
Well, stuff like that. I think you have to fill out official paperwork.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 'cause I know I'm the proxy for my father. He gave it to me. It's at my house in a folder. and I have it.
Yep,
So,
I can request his
Do
medical.
you,
I
do you
can
have
call
that
the doctor.
paperwork then to give to the hospital? That obviously gives you authority as his health care.
My house is just a massive paperwork.
Okay.
So,
Where are you moving to Florida?
We bought a house in Hernando,
What part of Florida
outside
is
of
that?
Crystal River.
Okay. So you guys were both going to move down. Where
Yeah.
is your son going to stay here?
Yeah.
You're going to stay, but you guys are going to move to Florida. When are you going to do that? Well, planning before.
5 months ago.
you definitely don't think he was drinking?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Doesn't even. You said he doesn't even drink.
He doesn't drink.
I've never seen
No.
him. I've never seen him act that way here. Never seen him drunk.
Okay.
Always
Okay.
normal, straight.
And definitely no, I want
I've never known him.
to, I don't want to live anymore. I'm
here.
done. I'm sick of it.
Suicidal ideation.
Like fun.
He's happy. He's a good guy.
He's just
Just
he's
likes
a
to-
hard always.
So maybe
Hard
like
working
an
guy.
accident, or he ingested something and
I thought it was CO
wasn't what he
poison.
thought it was. You thought it was what?
I thought it was CO poison. I thought he was downstairs working all
carbon
day.
monoxide,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
we
CO.
were in
He's in the
the basement.
basement.
Okay.
There's gas down there.
Well, when did he do that?
That
All
day.
He was, that's
That
all
morning?
his
Yeah.
shit's from here.
Yeah, we were cleaning out the,
Oh, that would be good. All right. So from 4 in the. When did he go down? In the basement, or is there a garage?
It's
There's
like
a
a
little-
little, back.
Is it like a crawl space or is
it's
it?
like it's,
Can we see that?
Yeah. Can we see that?
Yeah,
I did think it was. He was
Yeah.
around.
It might be
CO2.
appropriate, yeah, if we can.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the reason we're here is
We
to.
didn't have the FD checked
Now.
out. I mean, that's what we thought.
yeah.
So she was.
Do you have like a smoke detector or a CO detector down
And I
there?
would tell you.
There was something down there, and we were cleaning it out. I think I brought it upstairs, actually. But I was telling Douglas yesterday, I want to get everybody, new
Yeah.
monitors.
So
Yeah.
And have,
So he's in there all day long?
Not just put him in myself, but have the fire department.
And that was the day of. So
Day of.
when he woke up, he went down in the basement. He said he's kind of
Like I
busy
said,
body.
he said, I cleaned the back room out.
Yeah.
It looks nice down there. You put your stuff
He
down
was
there.
Oh, the
dizzy.
back room
The back,
was,
that's what we call the back room. It's connected to my unit down
and
here.
it's kind of like a garage.
Kind of like a.
And
crawl
where would the
space.
CO2 be coming? Is there a car in there or something?
No, just like
Oh, okay.
just
Like
Well, there
the
was a-
boiler stuff and.
boilers. Yeah.
Oh.
Can we just go see what's down there just to
There
give
was
us
a
a frame of mind?
Yeah, just so I have an idea. Of what
Was the generator running?
Yeah.
No. Was it running? No.
Yeah. Okay.
But he works hard. He's a bull. And he was dizzy a lot. He kept.
But just in general or yesterday?
When he was working while we were here. Well, he's been dizzy.
No, but I mean, like a week ago, would he be dizzy, or was
Yeah,
it just this
yeah, he-
recent?
He gets dizzy easily. But more so when he's working.
That works. I guess he didn't.
Yeah, I know.
And he had some heart stuff too going on,
And
right?
he's got a
You
pacemaker.
said COPD earlier,
And
so he was just in-
COPD, I definitely.
so that'll probably make you dizzy, right? If breathing.
Yeah.
But just breathing in this like dark air.
But it's, yeah, it's just shitty air down there.
Did he say there was like he had headaches or anything?
Yep.
When did he say he
He's
had?
had this all along, and he's already been to his doctor, and he's, he goes through the same thing, and he says nobody does anything for him.
So that was my take on it.
Is that door
This goes
to you?
Yeah.
That's for your.
No.
Okay.
Can I see?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, I'll come out so you can come in.
And so there's like the furnace and.
yeah, there's all that stuff in there. And how long?
But so everything that was in the back of his truck was down here. So this was all full.
Yeah, pretty much. It's full of people.
Other than what the metal man did.
Yeah.
That's your one. That's the other entry.
Yeah.
He would have came.
Yeah, exactly. We locked that door.
We were just clearing out stuff.
What about this hose over this side?
A hose?
This like is that like a dryer vent?
Yeah.
That's your dryer. Your dryer's right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's their bathroom.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Oh, I
don't want it in my head.
He's kind of in and out of there.
Yeah. Well, he's in there a lot, but but then he'd just stop and he puts his head, he's like, oh, and I'm like, do you just see? I said, sit down and rest.
Would he do
He
that
works
here?
too hard.
Would you do that right here? He'd be like, you'd see him
Oh, he did it like 5 times yesterday. That was
standing here.
well, wherever he was.
Oh, where he was, just
standing-
kind of like not.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All
But I
right.
mean, that's an ongoing issue.
Well, that is what happened. Like that needs to be rectified because nobody could be in there, especially with you and
It
on the other
doesn't,
side.
I mean, not just dizzy from here. I mean, doing any kind of work,
Oh,
he'll
that's
stop,
just
and it's
yeah.
like.
Okay.
And he definitely didn't leave during the night. You would have heard him. Like say you went out to meet, say you went out to meet somebody.
Not necessarily. He's a sneaky guy.
Does that motion thing, would that have picked them up?
It's not set up.
Unfortunately, that's the story of my life.
I know.
I have like a B&E or something, and everyone's like, "Oh, I got great cameras, but they're not working." Thanks.
I had my ring camera. I didn't see anyone.
It would have done like a motion.
It pings. It gets all the way to the truck.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So you can see like who's coming up and down the walkway.
Good.
All right, then I don't have any more questions. And sorry for just
You don't have any answers either.
No,
not yet. But
that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to get the answers. And like I said, we just try to get ahead of some things, just because it's a lot easier than trying to remember what happened a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, or even 6 months ago. You know, if something else comes up. What's the best phone number to reach at, Judy?
978-360-0076.
Is that your cell phone?
I'm leaving.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Probably.
I
just want you.
Think in my car.
I'm already. I'm sick of my stomach. I couldn't even see him.
So, I'm our only detective, so if you need me, just call the station and ask. My name's Detective Verney, but if you just say I need to speak to
Verney?
Verney, yep, Verney. So, if you just say, I need to talk to the detective, they'll get you to me.
Do you have cards?
I have one in my car.
one of my cruiser actually. Last one of the last calls.
Everybody.
No, I do have it in my cruiser. No, I swear to life, it's in my cruiser.
Right, that's like,
I literally gave my last one.
how many?
Into my folder.
I gave my last one out too, but I also keep forgetting to restock it. So.
The rest of the video is just giving out phone numbers and talking about your business cards. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
I think Mr. Camellia will stop for the
Okay.
morning break here.
All right.
Jurors, before I let you go for the break, you may have noticed occasionally what looked like a jump cut in the video. Just as with a document where I told you things may get blacked out or redacted because either I've made a determination that something's irrelevant or the parties by agreement have agreed that something's irrelevant. The same may occur in various videos that you may see during the course of this trial. Don't speculate on what's been removed from any video or document. It's been removed because it has no bearing on anything that you have to decide in this case. With that, we will take a 20-minute morning recess.
All right. Just leave your notebooks on the chair.
Detective Verney, you may step down. Let me just see counsel at sidebar for just a moment before we recess.
Court back in session, maybe. See you. Be seated.
Detective, when we broke, we had just finished watching the body cam of the interview that you and Trooper Williams did on November 12, 2022, yes?
Correct.
All right. Aside from what I had mentioned when I stopped the video, that there was some discussion about phone numbers and business cards, did you have any more conversation about the case, about what had happened to Mr. Fowler with Ms. Church that day?
No.
Okay. Did she ever mention to you having taken any videos of him prior to the arrival of the emergency medical personnel on the day before, November 11, 2022?
No, sir.
Would that have been information that was helpful to the investigation?
Yes.
And you were present for a second interview of Ms. Church that happened on the 14th of November, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understand from speaking to me that we're going to put that evidence in through Trooper Williams later on in the trial?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Nokunis.
Thank you, Judge. Detective, it's fair to say that when you were there, you were directing the interview with Ms. Church about the condition of Mr. Fowler and what she could shed on the condition of Mr. Fowler to you, right?
Correct.
And you were giving her a particular timeline. And in terms of her responses and the last questions by the district attorney, did she talk to you about any videos? She appeared to be very emotional when you were talking to her that day, right?
Yeah, she had a lot of ups and downs.
Right. Several times she appeared as if she was going to cry. And
Yes.
therefore, in terms of you were redirecting her at different times, bringing her back to the subject matter that you wanted, right? She was talking about, her relationship with Mr. Fowler, and she was expanding upon that relationship, and you were trying to focus on November 11th, 2022, right?
Well, we wanted to learn as much as we could about what happened. So,
Now, following that meeting with Ms. Church, and that lasted, a period, you were there at that site probably, an hour?
between a half an hour to an hour.
And it started at 3, so you out of there around 4.
I believe so. No, I think it started around 4 o'clock.
And at some point in time, you had already set up a subsequent meeting to take place at Mr. Eaton's house, right?
That evolved as the day went on.
All right.
That evolved as the day went on. This was the first appointment we had made. And we were,
You go to the meeting at the Eaton house?
yes,
Okay. And that was around 5 o'clock, November 12th, right?
it was later in the day. I'm not sure exactly what time.
Okay. And how had you selected the people to come to that meeting?
We had spoken with the family, specifically Leroy Fowler III.
You lean a little bit into that mic.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So we were speaking with Leroy Fowler III, and we were just asking, anybody who had any information they wanted to share with us, we were willing to speak to.
Well, you brought Tammy, right? Did she come to that meeting?
Tammy was there, yes.
Yeah. William Eaton, right?
Billy, yeah, Williamine, yes.
Leroy Fowler III, right?
Correct.
Okay. And had you and Lieutenant Sullivan sat down and said, who should we bring to this meeting?
I didn't think.
Judge, I think there might be some confusion. I don't know who Lieutenant Sullivan is.
Lieutenant Sullivan, Williams? Trooper Williams or someone else?
Trooper Williams, I'm sorry.
Trooper Williams?
It elevated him, Judge. I'm sorry.
And you gave him a different last name too, I think.
Right. So somebody had to select the people to come, right? You just they didn't randomly come there. Somebody had to call them, said, come to this location at this time, right?
Well, the whole family was pretty much together. When we had spoken with Leroy, the family was all in communication with each other, and obviously they were concerned about Leroy and his health. This is a serious matter for the family.
No reason is concerned, but to get them at one location at one time, that just didn't randomly happen. Somebody had to call them and say, hey, come to this location for this time. I want to talk to you about this, right?
Yeah, we coordinated through the family. I'm not
sorry,
sure
could you
exactly.
lean into that?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. So between us and the family, we all decided that was the best location.
Okay. So, and then how did you know to go to William Eaton's house?
We were invited there.
You were invited to come. So the family set up the meeting. They wanted to talk to you?
So ideally, any interview we would like to happen at the police station. So in coordinating it with I believe we did 4 interviews that night. It made the most sense to meet them there. It was the easiest.
And to your knowledge, did the folks you were going to meet with and talk to know what the substance of what the issue was that you were going to talk to them about? Did you prep them in any way to say, here's what we're going to ask you?
So the family reached out to us in the morning. Leroy Fowler III reached out to us in the morning, concerned about the condition of his father, and they all wished to speak with us. We wanted to learn as much information as we could about Leroy himself, about what might have happened. We were just as curious and confused as anybody else.
I don't have any further questions, Judge. Thank you.
Any follow-up on that, Mr. Camilio?
You were asked a couple questions at the beginning of the cross about Miss Church's demeanor during that interview. You remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
When was it that Miss Church got most upset during that interview?
Most upset would be when we referenced the other girlfriend, or she said, "I'm not the other girlfriend."
Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Norkunis?
No other questions, Judge.
Thank you very much, Detective. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.